morning, children. Today we are going to discuss a new lesson, that is making of independent Indian Constitution. So making of independent Indian Constitution. Why we needed a constitution and what is actually a constitution? What is meant by constitution? So actually before going to the topic, the making of Indian Constitution. Why we should make an Indian Constitution? Because once the British people were decided to give freedom to India, at that time we need a special constitution, because before that we already followed the British constitution, but it is not for our rules and it is not set for our country. So before going to that, before enjoying the freedom and all, first we have to prepare the constitution. So the constitution was prepared by the Constitution Assembly, and actually what is meant by constitution, these are all I will not explain because it's already you learned in 15th chapter of 13th chapter of 8th class, isn't it? So once I show you this, this is the actually it's a dream of our leaders, and it's a dream. Constitution is a dream of all the people. And why constitution? What is meant by constitution? It is a set of rules. And the set of rules, how the country should be governed, and how the laws that run to be made changed, and how the government should be formed, what would be the role of the citizens, what would be their rights, etc. What are the roles to the citizens, and what are the roles to the public, to the government, and what sort of things we have to do, how the government works. So that is called directive principles. So how the government should work, and what sort of rules and what are the rights and responsibilities of the citizens of India. These are all we set a constitution, set of rules we have written a constitution. So the constitution, it's the biggest constitution in India, in the world, and our constitution is the lengthiest and longest and written constitution. Okay, lengthiest and longest written constitution. It is almost see, before writing the constitution, they have written a big preamble. Preamble means that is like index. Preamble. What is preamble? The first page of the constitution. What is this? You can see here. This is in the 8th class book. It is there. See the big one. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, listen carefully, sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens, justice, social, economic and political liberty of thought, expression, liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of belief, liberty of faith and worship, equality of status and equality of opportunity, and to promote among them all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact and give ourselves this Constitution. So here there are important things are, what are the important things in here? He have written sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic. For each word we had a lot of meaning and explanation. The pages explanation is there. Once you check it in the Indian Constitution, there are pages, 100,000 pages of explanation is there for each word. They described each word. What is sovereign? Generally, in a shorter sense, sovereign it's a supreme power, hands with is in the control of our country. Sovereign means supreme power. It is only with the country and country people. Nobody should involve in our personal matters and our country matters. That is called sovereign country. And socialist means all the natural resources should be distributed to the people. Socialist means it's a centralized planning. So total resources are controlled by the government and it distributes to every person. it depends on the need. And next is secular. Secularism, we have written a special word that is called secular. In any country it is not there. The secular country means the secular, all the religions are equal irrespective of their whatever their ideas and whatever their ideology. But secular means all the religions are equal in front of the law, in front of the government. So the government will be in the neutral stage. It neither encourage any religion nor discourage any religion. That is called secularism. So the simple example for secularism is when you have a holiday for Vinayak Chauthi, and when a holiday for Hindus festival, and when you have holiday for Jesus Christ birthday, and when you have holiday for Guru Nanak's Jayanti, or when you have holiday for Miladun Nabi, like that. Though that means what, we are not seeing the how many followers are there for a particular religion. We are seeing how much great of each religion. We are not seeing the followers of the great religion, isn't it? How many people are, how many followers are there, that is not irrelevant. How much great that particular religion. So we are giving a equal importance to all the people, all the religions. That is called secular. And next, democratic. You all know what is secular. The government will not be run on the basis of any religion. Secular, one more important thing is, the government will not run the basis of any religion. Citizens will have a complete freedom to follow any religion or no religion at all. Government will not favor any religion. That is called secularism. Next is democratic. See this one. Democratic. What is meant by democratic? Democratic, a form of government where the people enjoy equal political rights, elect their representatives to make laws and run the government and hold representatives accountable. So what is democracy? You are talking about the democracy. You all know what is democracy. The democracy is for people, by the people, and of the people, and for the people. That means it's a quotation of great leader Abraham Lincoln, 16th President of United States of America. So what he said about the democracy, it is for the people, by the people, and of the people. That means when you are, the represents a total equal rights for every people, as a political equality, social equality, and economical equality. So when if the people are directly, we are ruling the country, indirectly we are ruling the country, isn't it? We are electing the representatives with the adult franchise, and then those people are ruling the country. So indirectly we are ruling the country, and we have every right to ask about any queries about the government, how the government runs, and what are the needs to be fulfilled, and how to rectify if any mistakes are happening. So these are all only in the democracy we can do it. Next is liberty. Democratic and justice. What is justice? All citizens should get what is their due. In determining what is due to them, no discrimination will be made on account of their birth, or a particular caste, or a tribe, or community, or sex, or beliefs, religious or political opinions, or wealth, rich or poor, or status. The government, however, may take special steps to protect those who have been historically wronged. So here the justice means that all citizens should be given equal justice. If they are poor or rich, if they are when they were done a mistake, the justice should be equal to all. And then after that, equality of a status or of opportunity. What is equality here? See, everything on the blue color that is described here. Equality means our constitution does not promise equality in all respects. It cannot be happen, isn't it? Constitution does not promise equality in all respects, like income or property. We can't say that. But in some things there is an equality is there. But it seeks to ensure that all people will enjoy the same status. That is, even one will be government by the same laws. Secondly, it promises equality of Opportunity. This means that all the public offices shall be open to all, irrespective of caste or religion. If the officer requires special qualification, access to that qualification will be equal to all. So, irrespective of caste and religion, if you are talented or if you are qualified for that post, whatever required, he will be given equal preference. So, that is called equality. And these are all. So, before going there, see, revisiting of Indian Constitution, there is a, in the lesson he asked, to begin with, read the chapter 13 of class 8, Social Studies textbook, and complete the following tasks regarding the Indian Constitution. This you have to write and come. Task 1, some significant contributors to the Indian Constitution. Task 2, what are the basic ideals of Indian Constitution as reflected in its preamble. Okay, these two you write and come. So when you are seeing that the Constituent Assembly prepared this constitution. So what are the sources before that? Before doing the constitution and all, before making the constitution, actually we followed the British constitution. But after that, after deciding to give the freedom to them, we required a special constitution according to our people, according to our that time, according to our technology and according to the attitude of the country and all, we have to write. So, what are the sources have taken from to write the Indian Constitution? One is the Government of India Act 1935 and US Constitution and Canadian Constitution and English Britain Constitution. Okay, and French Constitution have taken into consideration and we made our rules. This is and when we are writing before writing the constitution, because it is the biggest task for a country to write a constitution, such a country like India. So first they have written they conducted a constitution assembly elections. In that they took for 238 people. And from there, for everyone they have written the constitution. And not only that, it's not even a bias thing. They inquired many people all around India, many intellectual, common people. They have taken opinion of many people, common people, intellectuals, doctors, or whoever the politicians. They have taken into consideration of everything and they started a drafting committee. Drafting committee chairman is Dr. Rajendra Prasad, chairperson, President of drafting committee is Dr. Babu Rajendra Prasad, and drafting committee chairman is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Chairman is Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, B. Rao Ambedkar. Okay, in their authority, they have written a lot of different things, and it's the biggest constitution and longest written constitution. Ours is a very big, longest and written constitution. It took almost about 3 years. 3 years the constitution they have written. So next is Indian Constitution. We have basic features of the Indian Constitution are single citizenship. These are the single citizenship. See, whatever we have, 444 articles and 14 schedules are there. 444 articles and 14 schedules are there, and in this thing we have a lot of things in this, and one is important thing is single citizenship, fundamental rights and duties. What are the fundamental rights and duties? That means what are the rights and duties to the people? to the citizens of India, rights and duties. Rights and duties means the responsibilities. And directive principles. Directive principles means whatever the responsibilities and rights of a government. Directive principles. Actually, whoever party comes into political scene and all, but the rules will be the same for everyone. So these are the directive principles government has to follow, and dual policy and unity and federal principles. Unitary and federal principles. Unitary and federal principles. I will explain detailedly all these things afterwards. Principles. Unitary and federal principles, and common all Indian civil services. Common all Indian civil services. All Indian civil services. Indian civil services. That means IAS, IPS, IFS. These are all comes under common civil services. And protection for weaker and minority sections. Protection and weaker for minority sections. Protection and weaker of minority sections. Okay. Protection and weaker of minority sections. Integrated judiciary. A special judiciary. Integrated judiciary. Integrated judiciary means the judiciary have a special entity. Nobody will involve. Even Prime Minister or President also cannot involve in the judgments, whatever given by the judges. So that is individual. It is a special entity to the judiciary system. Okay. And next, see is the protection weaker section and presidential and parliamentary system. This is very important. President and parliamentary system. President and parliamentary system. So what is this president and parliamentary system? Actually, ours is an indirect democracy. In our country, we are following the indirect democracy, and in US and all they had a direct democracy. That means they will have a lot of power only for the president. Here the president is nominal, and the prime minister and the cabinet ministers will have a more power. And even in the parliament also we have Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Isn't it? Lower house and upper house. In the lower house, they will have more power. Why in the lower house is more power? Because the people who are directly involved, elected by the people, the representatives who are there in lower house, they are directly represented by the people. And Rajya Sabha members are indirectly elected by the people. That's why they have low powers, and lower house has a higher powers will be there. And these are the Indian Constitution important things. We have to detailedly explain all these things in the next class. The single citizenship, protection and weaker sections and minority sections, directive principles. Directive principles means these are the whatever the responsibilities and powers holded by the government, and fundamental rights and duties by for the citizens. Whatever rights we have, fundamental rights, and what are the duties we have to follow and responsibilities. Every time rights and duties are the same coin. The both sides, how the same coin, the both sides will be like that. Rights and duties. When you have a right, definitely you should have a responsibility also for that particular thing, isn't it? Like that. And all Indian civil services, that is IAS, IPS, IFS and all, and president and parliamentary system, and unitary and federal principles. In India we have total united India we say, but even though we have two systems, one is unitary, central and state governments. Central and state governments are called unitary system. In the central and state governments, we are authorized by central government, but every state government have a own choice of their ruling. Okay, only the 7 union territories are there, those are controlled by central government, and remaining all state governments all will have their own elections, own everything. Every portfolio is different, but they should be authorized by the central government. If any emergency cases, they have to consult with the central government. So this is unitary and federal principle. We are all united and we have different principles for every state. That is for convenience, for administrative convenience we made that. Okay children, these are all the remaining things I